Hello, Watem here, and welcome back to some more Umineko When Seagulls Cry. Let's continue with the servant's perspective. Plus, wanna say Genji? Nanjo. This one's Genji. Yeah, still nothing there. There were 5 humans in the kitchen. Strange that you would call, say, 5 humans, as opposed to... what? Well, I mean, okay, so let's have a look at people got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's the 5th one? I only see the furniture here. Shannon is now also human, she says. So I guess she can be included in 5. It was very quiet, with only the sound of rain. It was only accented by the sound of Shannon and Kumasawa washing the dishes. Godo was using the leftovers from breakfast and lunch as ingredients for a soup. Rosa had suspected that poison might have been added to the food, so they decided to eat canned goods, but it hadn't been too satisfying. But Godo thought she was being too cautious, so he was spontaneously creating a soup to be served only to those who wanted some. Shannon and Kumasawa were washing the dishes that the food had been arranged on. On the inside, they thought maybe Godo should wash them, since he'd been the one who wanted the food arranged on plates in the first place. They left their complaints unsaid for the time being. After all, he's feast on murderers, maybe he'll kill you for saying one of that comment. And Genji and Nanjo were facing each other across a crude chess set that had many years of experience. The game had still only just begun. And because the opening game of these experienced players had been honed to perfection, it looked like a ceremony where they just moved specified pieces in a specified order. Keep wanting to say specific.
匂いですね。やはり缶詰ではこうはいきませんね。
開封した食材だけで作りましたので、毒が混入しているなんてことはありませんよ。皆さんの分もお作りしていますので、ぜひ食べましょう。もちろん私もお毒にしますよ。安心して召し上がってください。
本当にいい匂いですね。合田さんのまかない料理は本当に美味しいです。
美味しい材料を買ってきて、美味しい料理が作れるのは当たり前です。私は師匠にあり合わせのもので美味しく作るまかない料理を極めてこそ真の料理人だと習いました。
Like canned food.
それはいい師匠でしたな。
There's going to be something like, yeah, and his master is actually Beatrice, something like that.
おかげで私はとても美味しいスープをごちそうになれそうです。
I don't actually expect that to be coming up, but oh well.
親族の皆様にお召し上がりいただくための材料で作ることになってしまったのは残念です。ローザさんも朝からのいろいろでお疲れなのでしょう。無理もないことです。
でもそのおかげで美味しい食材のスープが飲めるのですからね。
Rosa had fervently warned everyone that they didn't understand the danger they were in. In fact, they must assume that poison was mixed in with the food. The mood at that time had led them to agree. But hunger wasn't something that could be swayed by a momentary emotion like that.
皮肉にも普段の私たちではとても味わえないスープとなりました。
So him poison testing doesn't necessarily mean that it's safe, even if he is a collaborator, because it could be just something like that paralyzes you, and if he's collaborating with a culprit, might believe himself to be safe, so he would be willing to paralyze himself.
できるなら客間の皆さんにもぜひ振る舞いたいところなのですが。
It won't be
ロ
trusted.
ーザ様のご指示に背いている以上よした方がいいだろう、飲みたいものだけ飲むといい。
見えないところで上手に息抜きするのも使用人の心得でございますものね。
When Kumasara chuckled, Shannon and Gerda laughed too. It seemed that, in this space where only their fellow servants were gathered, they could relax quite a bit. Shannon didn't like Gerda's occasional dishonesty, but she knew that there was no falsehood in his childish smile when he cooked, nor in his desire for people to enjoy his food. You could say it's to die for. So even though this was aggravating to be made to wash the dishes, she couldn't really hate him. However, they couldn't have dreamed that Rosa was calling them wolves in the parlour at exactly the same moment they were spending their time peacefully like this. At that time, several servants heard a sound like something being dragged and then a thump. It seemed like the sound made by a servant outside the back door when they were carrying a mountain of trash bags on a rainy day. Or maybe when a servant was returning from work wearing a raincoat. So at first, that sound didn't seem like anything out of the ordinary to any of them. But, they soon realised. Haha, I preempted that first word, even though that wasn't what I was going for. Right now, everyone was either in the kitchen or in the parlour, so who could possibly be at the back door? Yep. As the servants all looked at each other, they checked to make sure that each one of them knew what that sound meant.
誰でございます？
If they go was one. The servants knew the mansion's layout well, so they understood how incomprehensible it would be for someone from the parlour to actually go outside in this type thing. Go all the way around and come up to this back door. Then, was it Kinzo? They couldn't imagine that Kinzo, who never left his study, would dash out into the middle of this typhoon and come to the back of the house where only low-class people ever entered or exited.
気のせいじゃないですよね。
Shannon and Kumasara drew close together, fearfully looking at the back door.
どちら様ですか？
As Gorda fearfully approached the back door, he called out, and his eyes flashed towards the butcher's knife that sat in the nearby sink. He didn't pick it up yet, because there was still a possibility that this was a member of the family. However, that possibility was impossible. There was no response from across the door to Gorda's initial question. Maybe his voice had been so quiet that it hadn't reached through all the wind and rain outside.
源氏さん。
南條先生と女たちは下がって。一体どなたなんですかな。
Genji took a knife of a classical design from a stationery box placed near the chess set. It was something to be used instead of a paper knife to open envelopes for statements of delivery and bills. But it was still a knife, so the blade on it could injure someone. Genji hid it in his sleeve with a well-practiced motion. Then he approached the back door himself, giving Gorda a silent nod. Gorda cautiously approached the back door and slowly started to open it. The shadow of a person suddenly shuffled into sight, landed on its knees and fell over. It's dead. Kinzo, I'm guessing? Dead Kinzo? Gorda fell backwards onto his backside and couldn't get up. That human shadow was soaked with rain, smeared with mud and drenched with blood. Oh!
カノン、大丈夫か。南條先生。
It was Cannon. His breath was feeble, and the puddles of mud he left were quickly drenched bright red. Nanjo held him and turned him face up. There was a deep, gruesome wound right in the center of his chest, as though he'd been stabbed there by a spear or something. He's feebly bleeding, which surely means that he can't have died in that room. Right? Right? Even now, deep red blood poured out from there.
これはひどいですよ。どうしましょう。救急箱ですか？救急箱ですか？
カノンさん、傷口に手を当ててしっかり押さえてください。使用人室のベッドに運びましょう。皆さん手を貸してください。
さあカノンさん、しばらく我慢してください。
しっかりして。もう大丈夫よ。だから傷口から手を離さないで。
とにかく使用人室へ運ぼう。熊沢ローザ様にカノンが見つかったことの報告を。
待って、ローザ様にはダメ。
待ってください。カノンさんがローザ様にはダメだと言っています。
どういう意味なの、カノン君。
Saying that this is the one that did it, perhaps?
早く使用人室へ運ぼう。
The question then becomes how.
熊沢、ローザ様にはまだお伝えするな。
Alternatively, can we trust that this is even happening? Because we haven't read text that he's died in that room. And used for past tense as well. Maybe that's something that's translation? Something lost in translation, maybe?
カノンに事情を聞いてからにする。
はい。
He told them not to tell Rosa, right after appearing in this state. This could only mean something very disquieting. Near anxiety rose to their faces.
さあ皆さん、急いで運びましょう。早く早く。
Cannon's wound was unbelievably deep. Judging from Nanja's pale face, it was a miracle that he was still conscious.
これはひどい。何か槍のようなもので刺されたようです。肺まで届いてなければなんとか持つかも。とにかく止血を。
No matter how much Nanjo tried to wipe off that gushing, deep red blood, he couldn't do it, he couldn't wipe it all away. And each time the wound was aggravated, causing Cannon to cry in anguish.
カノン君、しっかりして、しっかりして。
南條先生、替えのタオルです。なんてむごい。
容体はどうですか？
And when they returned to the parlor covered in blood.
本音を言うと生きているのが信じられん深手だ。刺されどころが幸運だったのかもしれん。だが出血がひどすぎる。輸血が必要だが明日まで無理だ。
ローザ様が僕たちを。
喋らないで、カノン君。
Oh, I think he knows he's not going to survive. He needs to get the information out.
傷口が開いちゃう。
ローザ様がやってきて、お嬢様と僕は。
なんですって。
ローザ様がですか？ おおおお、そんなことって、そんなことって。
間違いないのか。
はい。
Hmm.
間違いなくローザ様でした。
I think I did raise the possibility that it was Rosa. On the other hand, I wasn't being especially serious and I was just listing it as a potential possibility. Although she was certainly acting strange.
さ
And
あ
had the golden
もう
butterfly.
喋らないで。
うん
熊沢さん、もう一つの救急箱を取ってください。
源氏さん、ローザ様がなんてことはあり得るのでしょうか。
I'm also wondering, so a couple of other things with this scene. One is this scene happening. Two, why, if Rosa came to kill them, okay. How is he still alive? But it would explain why she's very much wanting to put the blame on Cannon if she discovered that the body wasn't there anymore when it should have been. Wants to place the blame on him so that people wouldn't trust him.
わからん。
This regarding Nanjo and Kumasao, who are struggling hard and stained with blood as they try to stop the bleeding. Genji and Goro faced each other. Because if what Cannon had said was the truth, Rosa was the culprit who killed Jessica. Also, Cannon, are you still dead here? Yes. So what is going on here?
ローザめ、よくもお嬢様を。
And we also had the ghost Cannon talking with Ghost Jessica. This doesn't seem trustworthy.
殺してやる。
Cannon screamed even more hatefully. His hate-filled voice made it seem like he was seeing Jessica being harmed right before his eyes.
確かにローザ様がお嬢様を殺す理由はあるかもしれない。後ろ宮家が全滅すれば遺産は全てローザ様のもの。だとしたらバトラ様やジョージ様も危険なのでは。ローザ様は銃を持っている上に今客間には彼らしかいない。源氏さん、これはかなりまずいことでは。
Shannon suddenly ran out into the corridor. Her expression was complex and tragic, so she didn't know what to believe. Shannon ran. To the parlor? To where? The inside of a mansion had been scrupulously cleaned, so it probably wouldn't be easy to find. She might find it if she searched for Rose Garden, but they'd probably all been lost in the wind and rain. What? That's right. The boiler room isn't cleaned very often. If she went there, she might be able to find it. Find what? What? Also, boiler room last time. Shannon ran downstairs to find that in the underground boiler room. Did some medicine take effect at the brink of death? Or was Cannon finally beyond feeling pain? For the time being, at least Cannon's painful gasping had subsided. Nanjo apparently didn't view this as a very good sign, and he didn't let his eyes off Cannon for a second. Kumasawa firmly gripped Cannon's hand and kept encouraging him, so that the willpower keeping him alive didn't fade away. Genji and Goro seemed uncertain how to respond to a truth Cannon had risked his life to deliver.
ローザ様の銃は確か4発か5発の弾が込められたはずだ。
決して少ない数ではないですね。でもあの銃は弾の装填に結構な慣れが必要だったはず。一発目は撃たせてしまうかもしれませんが、みんなで襲いかかれば次を撃たせずに銃を奪い取れるかも。
この島には医者はいても薬はなく、病院もない。撃たれどころが悪ければ死ぬぞ。
それは分かっていますが、それより早く行動を起こさないとまた次の事件が起こる可能性も。
I know how bad this sounds, but maybe you should just try to cut your losses.
私たちはローザ様にうまく追い出された気がします。
On the other hand, Shannon would never accept that. I'm wondering if this is somehow which dividing them. I don't know how you'd accomplish that without actually using magic.
今頃ジョージ様やバトロ様が殺されている可能性も。
そんな危険な相手なら無理に刺激しない方がいいんじゃありませんか。
しかし明日までは長い。
No one this time is going to hide in the study.
どんな手を打ってくるか想像もつきませんよ。
If it is Rosa, then there's nothing requiring that Kinzo's still alive. Because as far as we know, Rosa's the last person to talk to him.
源氏さん、
Supposedly.
こちらから仕掛けるべきです。
It's also then the question of if she even did visit him, though.
せめて10歳理由をこじつけて奪えばなんとかなるかも。
弾は4、5発じゃありませんか。ということは私たち全員を殺すには足りないということです。うかつに刺激しなければきっとローザ様もむやみには。
あいつは言ったよ。僕たちを皆殺しにすると言った。
Cannon, who they thought was sleeping quietly, suddenly started talking brightly, almost as though he'd been awake this whole time and had suddenly opened his mouth. Cannon looked firm and steady, which relieved Nanjo a bit, but considering the depth of that wound, he couldn't wipe away a certain creepy feeling. That he's talking to a corpse right now? He knew because he was a doctor. After losing so much blood, Cannon might easily have lost consciousness, and yet somehow he was still intensely aware of his surroundings. Was it youth? Or was it tenacity? Sometimes the power of human life surpassed common knowledge. While stopping the bleeding, Nanjo had groped around a bit inside the bleeding hole with tweezers, making sure there were no foreign objects inside the affected area. The great depth of the wound had shocked him. It certainly reached as far as his lungs. And yet... No. But the fact that he's still alive is wonderful. But Cannon had spoken clearly. He'd hatefully stated the one named Rosa made this wound, cursing and raging over and over and over. Any update to the character yet? Nope.
あいつは親方様の財産を独り占めするために台風が過ぎ去るまでにどんな手を使ってでも皆殺しにする気なんだ。
Now that doesn't sound right.
あいつはそうするとはっきり僕に言ったよ。
くそ、 なんて人だ。源氏さん、どうしましょ
Is this actually like Hinomazawa syndrome or something?
う。私たちにも何か武器がいるのでは。
にわかには信じられん。王座様がそのようなことを。
Indeed.
源氏様、信じる信じないじゃない。あいつが僕にそう言ったんですよ。この僕が聞いたんです。どうして信じてくれないんですか？
起きないで。傷に触ります。
Canon sat up on the bed, speaking to Genji, who didn't seem to be willing to believe Canon's story.
あいつは僕たちを必ず全員殺す。もうきっと客間の方々も殺されているに違いありません。僕らが先に殺さなければ必ず僕らが先に殺される。僕が先に殺されたようにみんなも先に殺される。
So a couple of things here. Just like how I was killed first in past tense, everyone else will be killed first. That's not how the word first works.
殺さなきゃ殺される。殺さなきゃ殺される。
カノンさん、あんた本当に痛くないのか？
How could it hurt if he's dead?
ああ、これですか。大した傷じゃありません。
大した傷じゃないどころか、あんたは
本当に大したことありません。こんなのもう全然痛くないし、
Something about being
本当に
furniture.
大した傷じゃない。
As Canon said that, he began to untie the bandages that had been painstakingly wrapped. The gruesome hole in his chest was immediately exposed.
カノンさん、そんなことをしてはダメですよ。早く横になって。
大丈夫ですって。ほらねえ、大した傷じゃないでしょ。
Cannon showed off his gaping wound, which was still slowly spitting out foamy blood. Everyone averted their eyes reflexively.
ほら、全然大した傷じゃないですって。
やめなさい。傷をいじってはいけません。
ほら見て、全然深い傷じゃないんですよ。
Okay, seriously, what is going on here?
ほら
What?
ほら。
I'm very confused. Cannon held up two fingers, showed them to everyone, and slowly started to stick them into a gruesome wound right in the center of his chest. Plunging slimy, squishy, wet. The fingers went in deep, all the way to their bases. Squish, loop, loop.
カノンさん、やめてやめて。
Those fingers are sticking all the way into his chest, up to their bases. And then he slowly pulled them out in exactly the same way. The fingers he pulled out were stained a sticky, solid red deep colour. There was even a thread hanging. The fingers were covered up to their bases in deep red ketchup.
あんた、痛い。
ね、全然大した傷じゃないでしょ。
At that moment, the door was slammed open, and Shannon appeared. Even after she saw Cannon, stained with fresh blood, her impregnable expression didn't falter.
やあ姉さん、どこへ行っていたの？僕が既得だというのに、一体どこへ。
It's not a serious wound, but I am on the verge of death.
ボイラー室に行ってきたの。探し物があって、それより確かめたいの。
Who are you?
あなたは本当にカノン君？
Close enough. It was only natural. Everyone believed he was canon, so they couldn't understand the meaning of Shannon's question. When they looked, they noticed that Shannon was holding a handkerchief in her hand. It was filthy and looked like it was being used to wipe up some trash or dust. While holding that, she approached Cannon, drawing closer to his feet.
なんだいそれは。
雲の巣を拭き取ったハンカチよ。
なんでそんなもの。
カノン君なら平気だろうけど、もしあなたにとって雲が天敵だったなら嫌うかなって思って。
Okay, seriously, what's going on here? What? I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if feedback you have in the comments. Until next time, I guess. See ya.